Hi again, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Card Cafe. This episode is being filmed in front of a live studio audience. Thank you. And we have a special guest here today, and that's Brett Erickson.
Hi.
Say hi. All right, so normally, I'm talking about old vintage baseball cards and so forth. And, once in a while I like to get into buy new hockey cards. And probably like a lot of you guys, when I buy these cards, I don't know who all the young players are because I don't get to watch them much. And I don't know how to pronounce their names either. And so I brought Brett in here. Brett is a world authority on hockey.
I claim to be.
And, and Brett, his dream is to be the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings.
I mean, in the NHL hockey team, but Detroit Red Wings is by far my favorite hockey team of all time. My dad is from Detroit, so I grew up watching the Red Wings since I was a baby.
Go
so.
Red Wings!
Now I'm a Penguins fan, so keep it down back there. But if there are any Detroit Red Wings, anybody in the management office who's watching, Brett's willing to come out there and do anything. Like, you need Starbucks picked up, you want some dry cleaning, anything to get his foot in the door.
Anything. I mean anything. It is my dream. So, anything.
So, when I buy hockey cards, I'll take pictures of the rookie cards and I'll send them to him and I'll be like, is this guy any good? And so I thought I'd kind of recreate that here. So I bought a couple packs of this year's Upper Deck hockey. And we're going to open some cards and find out about these players.
Yeah.
First, we're going to have this box, and this comes with an oversized Young Gun rookie card. And if you haven't bought one of these, it's in here loose. Learned that the hard way. So you have to be careful when you open these. So, when you open them up here, who do we have?
That is Jack Hughes. He is the number one pick from the 2019 draft. He's American, born in, I think, Florida.
Go Jack!
His older brother, Quinn Hughes, was just drafted 7th overall in the 2018 draft by the Vancouver Canucks. As the Red Wings fan, I was very disappointed that we didn't draft his older brother just because his older brother is a very, very good defenseman. But we ended up getting Philip Zadina, who's a really good right wing, and that's fine. But anyways, Jack Hughes, very good player, a lot of potential and everything. They compare him to a little bit of Sidney Crosby, but more so Patrick Kane. So if you like the offensive guys, those offensive flashy centers, he's your dude. So Jack Hughes.
Is this a good pull?
Oh yeah, he's like I said, number one overall pick, and he's having a fine rookie year. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year this year. Probably.
Who's going to win Rookie of the Year?
It's coming down to Victor Olofsson, Cal McCarr, and his older brother, Quinn Hughes. His older brother only played 9 games last year, so he wasn't considered like a rookie. It didn't take a year off of his contract. So his older brother is now a rookie this year and is the second leading defenseman in scoring.
So that's why I call him when I open these. So I got my handy dandy card saver 4 here. We'll protect this baby before we open up any more.
Good card.
All right, let's open up some packs. You want to open a pack?
Sure, yeah.
Let's do it.
See,
I'll open a pack.
Like I said, I'm a Red Wings fan. I don't really like Crosby, but I will admit that he is probably the best player of my generation. He is awesome. So, can't stand him though. But
all right, let's see what we got in here. We're gonna pull out the Young Gun rookies and any kind of patch card. Do they have autographs in these? I don't even know. Here's a Young Gun.
Oh.
Who is that?
Brady Keeper. He's a newer guy. He hasn't played that much. That's
Nothing exciting.
Shea Weber, Ryan Suter. That's kind of cool because these two are Shea Weber and Ryan Suter were defensive partners in Nashville for a while, and then Ryan Suter left in free agency back in 2012 and went to the Wild. And a few years later, Shea Weber got traded to the Canadiens for PK Subban, a one-for-one trade that was highly speculated as, okay, who's going to win this, and ended up being Nashville because their GM, David Boyle, just knows how to draft defensemen. So he drafted Matthias Ekholm, Roman Josi, Ryan Ellis. So their defense has always been awesome, even without these two guys. So,
hey, wait, I think that's a canvas.
ooh,
This is what the canvas inserts look like. Oh, I love the canvas. So who's that?
that is Travis Zajac. He alternate captain for the Devils. He's been with them for a pretty long time. He's a good player. Very one of the best third line centers in the league, I'd say.
Good.
And that's actually the
Now this is how I bring him back to earth. What team did Roberto Clemente play for?
Roberto Clemente. Oh,
Where's he from?
yeah, I'm like Penguins.
All my baseball watchers will appreciate that.
Penguins.
Or
He doesn't know baseball.
I don't know baseball. I promise I don't. But hockey, I got you. This is
All right.
this
Any
is a
other
good
young
guy.
guns?
No young guns, but Nathan McKinnon.
Oh yeah, I know Nathan
Yeah,
McKinnon.
he's
Great
in the
player.
consideration for the Hart Trophy this year. So
And what's the Hart Trophy for those who don't know?
Hart Trophy is the MVP. They actually have two MVPs. One is the Lindsay Trophy, the Ted Lindsay Award, and then one is the Hart Trophy. The Hart Trophy is voted on by the NHL, whereas the Ted Lindsay Award, which I think it's now the Pearson Award, it's voted on by the NHL Players Association, so fellow players.
And I taught him about the Art Ross Trophy,
Yes.
because that's for the scoring leader.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know this, Art Ross, of course, was one of the early hockey players, but he was a defenseman. And when he was a coach with the Bruins, I think around 47, 48, he started the Art Ross Trophy himself to reward the highest scorer.
Yep.
And so if you ever wondered why the Art Ross Trophy is named after a defenseman, that's why. Okay, who do we have here? Hey, is that Eichel?
No, it's Casey Middlestat. He was drafted number 8th overall in the 2017 draft, right before we drafted Michael Rasmussen. So, good player. He's coming into his own. Wears number 37 for the Sabres. He's got a good two-way game. He's, I think, like 6'2" or something. So he's got good size, good hands, but he's still coming into his own. And they're just right now relying on Jack Eichel. That's why they need him to step up. Because if he can be a two-way number 2 center, oh, they're going to be nasty.
All right.
Show us the card.
Our fans are getting rowdy.
Here's the cards. Don't make me call security. It'll be like a Trump rally where I have to escort people out.
Oh no. Don't get political.
Ooh,
Okay, what do we have here?
Austin Matthews card.
Austin Matthews, yeah. When was his rookie card? 2 years ago?
2016. So
16, okay.
him and
Yeah, I have some.
Patrick Laine, Adam Lowry, Chris Kreider.
And look at this nice card. Who's that?
Carey Price. He's the last goaltender to win the Hart Trophy.
These are
actually.
nice inserts.
And the recently traded Taylor Hall. So this is actually a cool card because he just got traded like 2 weeks ago to the Arizona Coyotes.
I think this is Upper Deck Series 1, huh?
Yeah.
See, in the Series 2, they'll show him with
they'll
the new
have him.
team. So, I think we have... I'm being told that we have a call. On the line now is Sydney from South Carolina. Sydney, what's your question?
My question is for Brett. So, when did you really start getting into hockey?
So I was born in 1997. And for any hockey heads out there that know, like all the Stanley Cup champions, the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup in 1997. So there's pictures of me sitting in my dad's lap in my Red Wings onesie, watching the Red Wings hoist the Stanley Cup for the first time in, I think it was like 42 years when we swept the, who was first? Yeah, it was the Philadelphia Flyers. And then the year after that, we swept the Washington Capitals. So literally ever since I was born, I've been a Red Wings fan. And then my dad, before teaching me how to ride a bike or anything else, it was put some skates on, we're going to the Ice Palace. So I've been in hockey ever since I was a kid. So
And when was Detroit in their last Stanley Cup?
2009. When
And who beat them?
well, it was a fluke. So
Who beat them?
it was the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Okay.
and that's when Crosby and Malkin got
And
their
didn't
first.
the Penguins break their record?
No, what the record for what?
Didn't they break the record for most Stanley Cups after the salary cap era or something? Back to back?
Oh yeah, so the Red Wings were the last team to win the Stanley Cup back to back in 97-98 until the Penguins did it in 16 and 17, which it was. Unfortunately, I have to say it was well deserved because that was just a great team. You know, Jim.
I know a
Rutherford
little
did
something
good
here
job.
and there. Not much.
So,
Wait, we have another call.
oh,
Stephanie from Baltimore, Maryland. What's your question?
Question for Brett. So, hockey is great, but we all know baseball is king. Does he know who Mickey Mantle is?
if you've watched his previous episodes, listen. So here's the thing that happened. All right. I didn't know off the top of my head who exactly Mickey Mantle was. I'm not, like we've previously stated, I'm not a baseball guy by any means. I like the sport. I respect the sport. It's an awesome sport, but it's not my sport. My sport has always been hockey. I also like watching football and basketball and even soccer. But as far as baseball goes, I'm not the biggest baseball guy. I know some stuff, but not enough. Especially not enough to keep up with
Please
him.
Yeah,
answer the
so
question.
on my previous on one of my previous videos, I mentioned that my girlfriend's my daughter's boyfriend,
I know.
my daughter's boyfriend. That's a tongue twister for me. Didn't know who Mickey Mantle was, and so this is him. And so he wants to get into sports management, and we've been mentoring him, and he's going to be starting an internship with the Charleston River Dogs. So he's going to be in baseball, and of course they are a franchise minor league team for the Yankees. And the guy that he interviewed with emailed me, and he's like, "You might want to teach your future son-in-law who Mickey Mantle is if he's going to work here."
Yeah.
So anyway, any of you who have daughters, you know that I have a love and hate relationship with him because I like the guy, but any guy that's dating your daughter, you're gonna hate.
Oh. And also, he needs to know who Mickey Mantle is or whoever the legends are for your team.
Okay, so let's open another pack here.
Like if I had a daughter and she was dating a guy that didn't know who like Pavel Datsyuk was, I'd be offended. So I understand. Oh, well,
So anyway, here are our pools. So that's our oversized Young Guns.
That.
Oh, okay. Open that one. We got that Young Gun.
Jonathan Quick, very nice.
We got that. And we got this canvas so far. Nothing extra special, except this is our number one pick this year. So, number one pick in the league. Who is that?
Brandon Gignac. The name sounds familiar. I'm not sure. I don't know too much
Never
about him.
touch the corners. Not going to let him open anymore.
Ooh.
So that's what we pulled there.
This is actually an interesting card right here, though. The Bull Horvat card. He was actually just named captain like 3 or 4 games into the season for the Vancouver Canucks, who were led by the Sedin twins for 20 years. So it's a significant card just because he has the A on his jersey in this one. So
okay. By the way, I pulled this patch card the other day. Is he good?
Oh, yeah. John Gibson. He's been with Anaheim his entire life, and they sucked last year, and they're going through a rebuild phase, but he kept them in literally every game. He got a lot of the Hart Trophy consideration, so this was a real good pack. You got Mark Scheifele, you got Jonathan Quick, and Victor Hedman, who just won the Norris Trophy 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, great. Hey, we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to Sports Card Cafe. I'm talking with Brett Erickson. I apologize to him over the break. I'm just playing around. I didn't apply any pressure whatsoever. So before I get any hate mail. So we're going to open up this other box. I got this one here. So let's open up some of these packs, see what we pull.
He's got a lot more. JT Miller. Oh.
Now, if anybody has any more serious questions, please call in. We'd be happy to answer them. Oh, that's interesting card.
Maxim Control. He's a good player. He's a left wing for the Anaheim Ducks. It's definitely got a lot of potential. Big dude. He's got a lot of size, and that Anaheim they like to draft bigger players, like 6'3", 220 guys. That's how they play. So.
All right, so we got a
That's
decent
system.
rookie card there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
How about these guys? Get that insert.
Ethan Bear is an interesting one. He's a lot of Edmonton fans. I mean, just like any Canadian hockey team, they're very diehard. They're very passionate about their hockey teams, and Edmonton's a very special one just because they have Connor McDavid, who's like the next Wayne Gretzky. Which, if you've seen his stats, 3 straight 100-point seasons hasn't been done since I think Ovechkin. So that he's a really good player, and so they're trying to build around him and everything, and they're struggling. And Ethan Bear is actually supposed to be one of those key pieces on their back end, but he's struggled his first couple seasons in the pros, even in the AHL. But he's getting better, and he's having a good season this year for them, anyways.
And how about him?
Keith Kincaid, he's a solid backup goalie, not too
Backup.
yeah, nothing flashy. Their starting goalie is Corey Schneider, so. And then JT Miller, another Jonathan Quick card.
So who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year?
That's a tough one. If I had to pick right now, I would probably say either the Avalanche or the Hurricanes. Those are the two teams I want to win, and those are the two
The
teams.
Penguins are really gelling right now, and they've been playing without top players.
You see that who just got hurt though, right? Jake Gensel.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
4 to 6 months. Ooh, this is a cool card because Robbie Fabry just got traded to the Red Wings this year, and he's been struggling ever since his rookie season. His rookie season, he had 37 points in 70-something games, and I mean he was a first-round pick back in 2014, along with Dylan Larkin, who's number 71 on the Red Wings.
He's a good player.
Yes, but Robbie Fabry has been struggling. He had 2 back-to-back ACL injuries, and he returned, was struggling, played 10 games for the Blues this year, only had like 1 point, and so he got traded to the Red Wings for like one of our fourth-line guys who gets scratched every other game. Robbie Fabry had a point in his first 7 games with us and has, I think, 18 points in his first, 20 games or 23 games. So definitely a one trade for the Red Wings. So I like this card.
So let's say that you got your dream job and you were with you got to be general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, what would you do to improve the team?
It's about it. I mean, scouting for one, because scouting is a big thing nowadays. Making sure that you're looking all over the globe, because there is hockey all over the globe now. It's a very popular sport wherever you go, but especially in Europe, and making sure you find the right guys and everything. Make sure you find guys that play two-way games, and making sure that you're doing right by the team and by your fans as well.
So this is an interesting one. He's in a looks like a baseball hat.
Marcus Johansson.
But I first took a look. I thought it was a baseball card stuck in here. And how about this guy? We got a Young Guns.
Sam Steele, very good player, very very good player. Plays the center position. He's tried to crack the lineup the past couple of years, and he finally cracked it this year, and he's like one of their leading scorers this year.
Good.
So
that's a good card to have.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Henrik Borgstrom. That's a good one.
What is that? That's a canvas, huh? Yeah. Yeah?
Yep. He's got a lot of potential. The Panthers seem really high on him. So, good center, although Panthers have a lot of center depth right now with Alexander Barkov. They have Vincent Trocheck, and Brian Boyle's playing either 3C or 4C for him. So, they've got a lot of center depth. So, he's not on the team this year, but he's definitely going to have a future with him, if maybe even translate to the left wing or something, or bump Trocheck to left wing.
This is awesome because a lot of my viewers are like, we might as well be speaking Chinese. Oh, here. Open another pack. I used to be so into hockey, and, it's just not on TV anymore, so unless you have a... ooh, that's a rookie patch. Who is that?
Dylan Gambrell. He's...
Nothing to be too excited about?
He's got potential, don't get me wrong, but he's not doing too great, I want to say. Oh, another Austin Matthews. Nico Rantanen. Oh,
that's okay. I mean, you don't pull too many rookie patches, actually.
This one's cool.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a checklist.
Well, those two actually got traded for each other a few years ago.
Oh, is that right?
It was Dougie Hamilton.
Well, that's a
and-
really cool card then.
Yeah, it was Noah Hannafin.
I'm sorry, it's a sick card, right? You guys say sick.
Dope.
No one says dope.
No one says cool anymore, right?
I'm sorry.
It's neato.
Audience, can you please? Yeah, Noah Hannafin and Elias
Anybody else?
Hamilton.
We don't have any more callers?
That's not.
The number to call in is raise your hand. I don't think we're not getting too much good stuff in here, are we? Not having. Oh, how about this one?
Oh, that. So this is. Oh, I'm sorry. That is Rasmus Dahlin. He was the number 1 pick in the 2018 draft. He was a defenseman from Sweden. A lot of comparisons to Nicholas Lidstrom, which, like I said, I'm a Red Wings fan. In my opinion, he is the greatest defenseman, greatest player of all time.
That's because he didn't watch Paul Coffey.
Anyways, they call him Mr. Perfect for a reason. Not just a perfect player, but a perfect human. He was awesome. But Rasmus Dahlin draws a lot of comparisons to him just for his high hockey IQ, his patience with the puck, and he can play anywhere on the ice when he's playing defense. Like, he can do it all. So he's got a bright future with the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, last pack, guys.
Johnny Taves, Ryan Pulak, Valerie Niskanen, Thomas Greiss, who's having a terrific season with the Islanders this year. I guess they have just a really good goaltending coach, because even last year when they had Robin Leonard, they played outstanding behind him. So,
Who's the greatest goalie of all time?
Martin Brodeur or Patrick Wall.
Okay, why do you say that?
I'd say, like I said, I was born in '97, so I haven't seen too much of Patrick Wall. The last time I saw him, he was chased out of Detroit in 2002, Game 7 conference finals. Lost 7-0. So, but I've seen his highlights and everything, and it's just his poise in the net and everything. A lot of goaltenders nowadays, I honestly think they need to adjust the goal to the size of the goalie, because you have guys like Ben Bishop, who's 6'6", 6'7", who's taking up the entire net, and that's not more so skill, that's more so just size. I think it should just be more so about skill. If you're talking about skill, guys like Martin Brodeur, guys like Dominic Hasek, guys like Patrick Wall, Carey Price, those guys are the ones that I've seen are just awesome.
How about Jacques Plant? Aha.
You got me on that.
We have another question in the studio audience. Yes, please ask your question.
Who's the most underrated hockey player
right now.
today?
Oh, that's a good question.
Alexander Barkov. Easy, done.
Plays for who?
Number 16 on the Florida Panthers. Like I was saying, he's their number 1 center, and he's just unbelievable. The things that he can do with the puck in the defensive zone, in the offensive zone, he reminds me a lot of Pavel Datsyuk. He's Russian too, so he's a lot of comparisons to him. A lot of those like two-way centers, especially like the foreign ones that don't speak much or anything, they don't get a lot of attention. It's always about like these big hot shots like Austin Matthews, the goal scorers that get all the recognition. So Alexander Barkov for sure is the most underrated player in the league, in my opinion.
Okay, and so I do this for card collectors. So what's his rookie year? What year would you look for his card?
13 or 14? Him and Jonathan Huberdeau were drafted like one after another. So I want to say it's 2014. It was one of those years, 2013 or 2014. He's been with the Panthers the entire time though. He's drafted either 3rd or 4th overall in his draft.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you a question, and this will determine if you can continue to date my daughter. What do you think of Mario Lemieux?
If he would have kept playing at his pace, never got hurt, never had cancer or anything, Mario Lemieux would have passed Wayne Gretzky in just about every record. Wayne Gretzky would have kept a lot of his records just because he's got so many. But
well, he played on such phenomenal teams when he was young, and
give him Mark Messier.
Lemieux played on some horrible teams.
Yeah.
He was all they had for a while, but I was a huge Mario Lemieux fan. If you got a chance to watch him, I've watched him and Sidney Crosby, and I don't even think it's close myself. Mario Lemieux is amazing.
Gretzky had Messier for the majority of his career, whereas Lemieux, he did have Yager for a little bit, but not.
Yeah, but you know that you brought up another point. They never touched Gretzky. Gretzky never got touched. Mario Lemieux, he was a big guy. He got beat up all the time.
Yep.
I mean, they really
Exactly.
hammered him. But
So,
just an amazing
If
player.
he would have stayed healthy and everything, which it's another one of those what ifs, and I understand that, but
An amazing owner, too. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
turned that franchise around.
you know, he was responsible for. He helped them get Fleury, he helped them get Malkin, helped them get Crosby, helped them get all the players they got, like Chris Letang and everyone,
Yep.
and all the trades that they did.
At the end of his career, you know, Lemieux was the whole package. He could score, brilliant passer. He would score shorthanded goals. And I remember watching him at the end when the Penguins really had no talent, and he would put these perfect passes right in front of the net, and nobody could score. And I always wonder, like, how many points he would have had if he had better teams early in his career and late in his career around him.
Yeah, I mean, having a bad team really gets you down. Like I said, I'm a Red Wings fan. We're at this point we're 10, 28, and 3 with a minus 68 goal differential, and that is god awful. Oh my lord, that is bad. And we have guys like Dylan Larkin, Tyler Bertuzzi, Anthony Mantha, Andreas Athanasiou, like I said, Robbie Fabry, up front, who, you know, they're good players and everything. Only like two of them, like Larkin and Mantha, are top line players. But everyone else on our team, like we have old veterans, then we have guys like Adam Ernie. Love the guy, but dude cannot finish. Put a pass on his stick and he will miss the goal by 10 feet. So, and then even our defense is just the same way. So it's hard to win and be successful, generate points when you have bad teams. So for Lemieux to even do that with such bad teams, with like he did, is unbelievable.
I think he's, like, in the top 3... I think, isn't he in the top 3 goals and assists in per games played?
I was actually
Mike Bossy's number 1 in scoring, I believe, per games played.
Oh, so points per game is number 1 is Gretzky with 1.92. Number 2 is Lemieux. 1.88.
Okay.
So that is, but
that's points per game?
Yeah.
And then goals per game is Mike Bossy followed by Lemieux. So he's second in both categories all time.
I believe so.
Per game played.
But like I
which is
said,
impressive.
I mean, that Lemieux's points per game includes his last few seasons when he was going through the bad teams and recovering from injuries.
Well,
from the
in
cancer.
addition to the cancer, you know, he had back surgery.
Yes.
And I was on a flight with him on U.S. Air out of Montreal. He and I don't know if it was his agent or a doctor or something, they were traveling together, and he could not walk. And in the old days on those planes, there were only 4 seats. And so you were literally sitting next to everybody in first class at the time. So I was talking to him on the plane, but I came back after I saw him, and I told my friends, I said, he's never going to play again. I mean, he couldn't even sit down.
Yeah.
It would take him 5 minutes to sit down. He could barely get up, and man, he looked horrible. And then he made a huge comeback, and then he ended up getting the Hodgkin's. So
it sucks when
he went through a lot.
Yeah, it sucks when such special players. I mean, it sucks when any player gets hurt like that. You know, because you never want to see that in the sport. You always want people to do their best and succeed because they've worked so hard to get to that point. But to see someone of his caliber, of his talent, to go down like that and not be able to live up to what he could have accomplished, it sucked. And I wish he would have been great for the game. Someone that actually came close to Gretzky or even past Gretzky.
He did have a pretty long career, though. It just had a lot of gaps in it. I have up there is an autographed stick from the last Stanley Cup team when Yager was a rookie.
Yeah.
From that, they had the back-to-backs. That was the second one, and it has every single player. Actually, that was obtained by Paul Coffey. He got all those signatures for us.
Paul Coffey.
A guy from our hometown knew him and traveled with him, and he got that. And I won it at a charity auction back in my hometown years and years ago, like in 1992 or 3. So I guess that's it for now.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for tuning in. Brett, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching another edition of Sports Card Cafe.
Woo!